If I had to talk about my favorite Knicks of all time, uh, I would say since I'm born in the '70s, started being a fan with recent memories, like in the late '70s, uh, and in my high school years following the Knicks. I would say like my top five Knicks would probably be, definitely Ewing, Bernard King. Oh my gosh, like when I remember him as a Knick, I mean, he was awesome, just a scoring machine. Um, some of the Knicks from the early '90s, like some of the like role player Knicks or like like enforcers, like Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, John Starks, Derek Harper. Any of those guys who went like toe to toe with like the uh, the Bulls at the time, who the Knicks just couldn't get by until Jordan retired, and they got by them, and they couldn't get by Houston. But yeah, those guys really, I think of them and think of my youth and rooting them on, and I really, I really just adored those teams. Now with Jalen and Cat. I mean, I really love the team. I really love the team. I mean, their destiny is for them to take right now. I mean, 11 in a row, and I know Wimby's going to be trouble, due to his size and his length, and he can stretch the floor. But we'll see. Those are my New York Knicks. Hey folks, it's me, Brian. Go New York, go New York, go! I am a lifelong Knick fan, as you know. I've mentioned them in my previous videos. I often like to wear this New York Knicks / Wu-Tang Clan t-shirt on my videos. I think I've worn the hat, but I've been a lifelong fan. I haven't had the chance to experience a championship my entire life. Now, I am old enough, I was alive when they won two championships in the '70s. I was alive for that. However, I was a toddler and didn't remember, but I've been a lifelong Knicks fan ever since my father took me to the Garden, and like when I was like in kindergarten. I even had a little journal from that year that I wrote. I went to go see the Knicks this weekend. All love goes out to my New York Knicks, who are about to play the Spurs, a rematch of the '99 NBA Finals when they lost to the Spurs. Now, that year, I didn't think they have a chance, but I think they have a great chance. In fact, I'm claiming victory. Anyway, this is what I'm drinking tonight. I'm having Gunpowder Irish gin, and I decided to pair it with my talk about the New York Knicks because, as you know, the colors of the Knicks are blue and orange. This is an orange product. You can see it in the bottle, and it has citrus in the gin. Specifically, let me get my glasses for this. The label reads Drumshanbo Gunpowder Irish Gin with natural flavors. It has California orange citrus, and it has gunpowder tea and a hint of California citrus. So this comes to you from the Drumshanbo Distilling Company, I would presume. And it also says it comes from the curious mind of PJ Bigney. It's so tiny, I could barely read it. But I found this mini in an ABC store about a couple of weeks ago. The interesting thing about minis in ABC stores is you get such a better variety and selection of minis to choose from. They just don't have those little cheapy minis that that Total Wine has and like package stores have in Maryland. Virginia, they have a whole bunch, a whole like slew of like interesting uh, sounding spirits, and this is one. So I said, why don't I get this? I like gin. I've had, of course, English and French, and I had an American gin that I bought in Georgia, which was pretty good. But I've never had Irish gin. I don't know what that's supposed to taste like, but we'll certainly find out in a bit. So let's crack this open. Give it a pour. And it's not orange. It is gin colored. It is clear. So the packaging makes it seem like you're getting something more orange than not, but it's completely clear. Completely clear. So I guess that's where the hint of California citrus comes from, because it's just a hint of it, right? Otherwise, it would be more orange. And it's called Gunpowder tea. I don't know what that is, but we'll soon find out. This is 43% alcohol by volume. The bottle is cool, really cool. Kind of reminds me of one of the decanters that I have. And let's give it a smell. Okay, so it doesn't have the greatest gin smell. I'm not getting those strong botanicals that you can get with gin, like the juniper. So it doesn't have that. You do get a hint of citrus, though. I will say that. Like, if I didn't know any better and I had my eyes closed and gave this a sniff, I would think it would be like an orange or citrus vodka. That's what it smells like. And I don't know what gunpowder tea smells like, but maybe I'll see how it tastes. So again, it does have a hint of orange and citrus notes, but not so much botanicals. Let's give it a taste. Prost, my friends. Interesting. So, I did not smell any tea at all. When you taste it, though, you definitely taste tea. Can't put my finger on it, but it is definitely tea. More than likely, not a black tea or a green tea, something in the middle, like a oolong tea. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but something in the middle. So you do get a tea flavor. You do get a citrus flavor. The gin flavor is muted, definitely. Yeah, it's like a citrus tea. It's definitely uh, tea forward and citrus forward. I give them that. That's what they say on the label. And you know how I feel about labels, folks. If you're going to claim something on the label, make the product taste that way. And so I give them points for that. So, how would I rate this? Well, the flavor is amazing, the tea and the citrus. However, it being a gin, I wish it had more gin, botanical, like, that, I mean, gin basically is very like vegetable, like forward. I wish it had more of that. But, it is called an Irish gin. So maybe the Irish don't make it so much with the botanical garden like notes. This is my first Irish gin. I should have another one to compare it. So I can't really, in good conscience, downgrade it because it doesn't taste like a French or an English or even an American gin because it's an Irish gin. And they specify Irish gin on the label, and I'm assuming for a reason. It's not going to taste like your ordinary gin. So, how would I rate this? I'd give it a pretty high rating. I mean, I am really impressed by the tea and the citrus. I'm going to give this a 91 out of 100. Would I get it again? I truly would. I would get this in a 750 milliliter bottle and experiment with it. I mean, one of my favorite drinks is a Last Word, which has gin in it, and this would taste a little bit different with this type of gin because it has that orange and the tea. And I like a bramble, gin and blackberry liqueur. So I would try a bramble with this. So I think the possibilities are endless, straight. It's a very decent product, also. So that's why I give it such a high rating. So there you have it, folks. Another review in the books. Let me get my glasses again, and maybe I can say this correctly this time. Drumshanbo, Gunpowder Irish Gin with natural flavors. Stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you on the next video.